The playground was alive with noise, kids shouting over a soccer game, laughter echoing from the swings, the metallic squeak of the old seesaw. But in the far corner, by the cracked basketball court, 15-year-old Aisha kept her eyes glued to the ground. She hated recess. It wasn't because she didn't like playing, she just knew that recess meant the bullies would be out, circling like vultures, looking for their next bit of entertainment. Aisha had transferred to Ridgefield High only 3 months ago. Her father's job had brought them to this small town, and she had hoped it would be a fresh start. But fresh starts aren't always kind. Her slim build, shy manner, and modest clothes made her stand out, and in high school, standing out for the wrong reasons was like painting a target on your back. From the first week, the group of popular kids had zeroed in on her. They started small, whispers, laughter when she walked past, blocking her locker. Then came the accidental bumps in the hallway, books knocked from her arms. She tried ignoring them, but the more silent she was, the bolder they became. And then came that Thursday. It was unusually warm for spring, and most students were outside during lunch break. Aisha sat on a bench, reading a worn copy of Anne of Green Gables, the smell of grass in the air. She felt almost at peace, until she heard footsteps and snickers behind her. "Hey, new girl," a voice drawled. It was Jenna, the queen bee of Ridgefield High, flanked by her loyal shadows, 2 tall boys from the basketball team. "Why do you dress like a grandma? What are you hiding under there?" Aisha didn't look up. She'd learned that feeding their attention made things worse. But Jenna wasn't here for silence, she was here for a show. Before Aisha could react, one of the boys stepped forward, hooked a finger in the collar of her top, and yanked it downward. The laughter was instant, loud, cruel. Her face burned with humiliation, not because anything indecent was revealed, her undershirt kept her covered, but because the act was invasive, degrading, and public. Something inside her snapped. The world seemed to slow. She closed her book with a calmness that surprised even herself, stood up, and faced them. The boys were still laughing, expecting tears or a retreat. Instead, she stepped forward, grabbed the boy's wrist, the same hand that had pulled at her top, and twisted it in one fluid motion. The sound of the joint popping was sharp. His laughter turned into a howl of pain as he fell to his knees, clutching his arm. The other boy lunged at her, but Aisha's reflexes were faster. Years of training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a hobby she had taken up when her father insisted she learn self-defense, kicked in. She sidestepped, caught his arm mid-swing, and wrenched it back until his shoulder locked. Silence fell over the playground. Jenna's smug smirk disappeared, replaced with wide-eyed shock. "You're crazy," she hissed. "No," Aisha said, her voice steady. "I'm just done letting people treat me like I'm nothing." Teachers rushed over, separating them and sending the boys to the nurse. Jenna tried to spin the story, claiming Aisha had attacked them unprovoked, but dozens of witnesses spoke up. For the first time, the bullies' version wasn't the one everyone believed. But the aftermath wasn't easy. The principal called in her parents. The boys' families threatened to press charges. Rumors flew through the school, some painting her as a hero, others as dangerous. For a week, she felt the weight of eyes on her everywhere she went. She wondered if she had ruined any chance of fitting in. But then something happened. One afternoon, while she was packing her books, a quiet boy from her math class approached her. "I saw what you did," he said. "Thanks for showing them they can't get away with everything." He smiled shyly before hurrying away. The next day, a group of girls invited her to sit with them at lunch. More and more students began treating her differently, not with fear, but with respect. It wasn't about being popular. It was about knowing she had taken back her power. Weeks later, she passed Jenna in the hallway. The girl averted her eyes. Aisha didn't gloat, didn't smirk. She simply kept walking. She'd realized the greatest victory wasn't in breaking bones, it was in showing that even the quietest person could stand up and say, "Enough." The lesson stayed with her. Self-respect is not given, it's claimed. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do isn't to fight, it's to refuse to let others define you.